Welcome to For the Fans. We're here to talk about the final three, the last HoH, the final four from Big Brother 25. It's been a season. I'm here tonight with CJ. CJ, what's going on?
Feeling good, ready to break down why all three of these last fools are unworthy.
It's been a ride. It's been a ride. CJ, last time we talked to you, I think Blue was still in the house, yeah?
It's been a couple of weeks. I had to travel for work, and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's been a couple weeks. I want to go over some stuff, some of the things that have happened, some of the things to break down. It's been a wild ride this season. Um, let's talk about everything as a whole because um, I feel like the season had so much promise, and then it's like I feel like it's kind of whimpering to an end.
I feel like the first half of the season was strong, and like I had my complaints about Suri basically running the house, but at least there was stellar gameplay happening. I was just bored by it because there was no adversity. And then as the season went on, basically someone just took what Suri was doing and then did it for themselves. Because you had Suri in charge, and then you had Corey in charge, and now you have Jag in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them are just doing the same thing.
Well, it's interesting because you wanted adversity, right? You wanted drama. These are the things you were saying you wanted. You then get the same type of game, but with just boring people. And then, is this what you have preferred? You with Izzy and them, everything was all over the place every week. Wednesday, you didn't know who was going home. It would change. Waffle Wednesday was a thing. But then since Jag has been in charge, it's been like, oh, he won the comp. Oh, he won the comp again. Oh, Bowie won the comp.
And I guess the problem is because Jag has won so many comps, which we got to talk about the comp structure too at some point. But Jag has won so many comps that no one has had a chance to get rid of him.
So during during the double eviction, when America goes home, she says nobody wants to take a shot at them. Granted, they've won all the comps, so like you can't take a shot at them.
Yeah,
but like, it is true. Like Jag, I think Jag is about to break the record. I think he broke the record. I think he has 7 veto wins.
Yep.
So he's officially the record holder, but it's like meh, because he beat like 2 grandmas and a Bowie Jane.
Well, not only that, but the comps this season have all been catered toward guys like Jag, like Matt, like Jared. They're all very physical. There's not a lot of, puzzle comps. There's not a lot of games of chance that we normally get. Everything has been some kind of endurance or speed comp, which just favors these dudes. So it makes sense that they've won almost every competition.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And even when you get like the puzzles, it's like there's a puzzle, but you need to run and grab the thing first, then run back and put the thing, and then run back and grab the thing again. It's like that part takes away from we got 60-year-old Felicia running around here. Like that's
Yeah. So like the demented dentist comp is the perfect example of if they were just locked in a room and they were looking at pictures and then had to match the teeth, Felicia would have had a chance. Suri would have had a chance. But the fact that they're running from room to room, they just can't keep up with the young ones. And Jag is just running past everyone while he's doing it. So he just gets more chances to get it right.
mm-hmm,
So it's just.
I mean, did you so in the final four, in the double eviction, there's a competition for the final four for the veto. Matt had 7 chances to drop the ball into the little cylinder.
Right.
Suri and Felicia each had 3. You had to get 4.
Yeah.
Felicia had 2 balls in there, but because Matt was going, I don't know if you noticed this technique. He would go and then just throw his body like a long jumper or high jumper, He would throw his body like a high jumper over the side and
Yeah.
jump into the ball pit. Then he would turn, pick up the thing, climb out, run and do it. And I don't know about you, but I don't want my mom throwing her body like a high jumper, like a high jump into the pit.
Well, I don't think she was going to do it anyway.
Correct. And so it was just, it's made for a physical person. He's out there getting it done, so he's able to get back quicker. And because he's throwing his body right into the pit, picking up the balls, knocking a bunch of balls out, picking up the ball, getting out, and then going and being able with his long arm reach down and line it up better. And Felicia had 2 of the 3 in there.
Yeah, but like, not only that, but you see it in like the HoH comps. We had very few live HoH comps this season. A lot of them were, oh, we'll find out on Sunday, which means you're not getting question comps. You're not getting puzzle comps. You're not getting other stuff that give more people a chance to win. And because the same 3 or 4 people won everything, it makes for a very boring season because they just pick who's going next.
I mean, and they had several knockout comps, several spot the difference comps. Like, what's missing comps? Because even when they did questions, those were the questions they did. And Bowie Jane won all those, spot the difference ones.
Yeah.
And so,
but if you're someone like Felicia or Suri, so spot the difference comp. Well, if I can't see the thing because I have poor eyesight, I'm out on that one. Memory comps, if I can't see the thing, I'm out on that one. You have the races that they have where it's, endurance comps. If I got a race to get my puzzle pieces, there's no way I'm going to beat one of these young kids. So everything felt like it was catered for one of them to win, especially when we got to the back half of the season, because like Heisem would have had a chance in some of those comps. Riley would have had a chance in some of those comps. Even Jared would have had a chance in some of those comps, and they all got picked off early. And then you were left with a few comp beasts and a bunch of people that didn't have a chance.
Well, on top of that, one of my big concerns is, you know how much I love this game. And one of my big concerns is that does the strategy morph to not needing a social game and just getting rid of people that are better than you at competitions?
And that's what it felt like this season, and that's probably why I was bored with it.
Right. This is not, if I want that, I watch the challenge.
Yeah, and I love the challenge. Don't get me wrong. Like, the challenge is my favorite reality competition show. But even with the challenge, there's a lot of social game because you're trying to not go into elimination.
Mm-hmm. And as Jackie said here in the comments, Felicia was literally squinting at the image in the last HoH competition. That makes it nearly impossible for her to be able to get this done. And now, you don't have to cater to the cast, but you need to be more equitable.
Yes.
The comps need to be more equitable and easier to understand for everyone.
The fact that I have a 75-inch TV during that last HoH comp, and I'm squinting to read what the comic panels are saying, and then they're still asking questions about the panels that have nothing to do with the words. Like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like, if you really wanted to make it different, like a perfect example is the chess HoH comp they've done frequently at 4, where the final 3 you can only move in an L like a knight, and then when you have no more places to go, you're out of the comp. They could have ran that. That one needs no physical endurance. It's all brains. And I think Felicia would have had a really strong chance at that compared to, needing to be able to see, and she couldn't see.
I don't know why we didn't get hide and go veto at all this season.
Right.
Hide and go veto is a very equitable veto competition. It's a classic. You go, you have to put for those that don't know, you go and you put, each person gets to hide a veto card in the house. Then each person takes turn trying to go and find a veto card after everyone's hitting theirs. And you're trying to make sure yours stays hidden. After everyone comes out with a card, the person that got their card found last wins the competition. It's a fantastic competition, fantastic veto comp. And it doesn't take physical strength to do.
Right.
Yes, they
Well,
destroy the house, but they clean it up.
they have nothing else to do. They're there for 24 hours.
Yeah.
But even like, so the veto comp that Jag won that sent Felicia home with the being in the water, or sent Suri home, being in the water, and then not making waves, like that one is also very physical. It takes a lot of core strength. It takes a lot of dexterity to be able to balance those on the disc and then get out of the water without creating waves. Like, sure, the competition looks cool, but it's not fair to everyone. And that's the thing about Big Brother, is it's always been fair to everyone with the competitions. It hasn't been super physical like Survivor in the tribe stage of the game. It hasn't been super physical like some of the challenge ones. Hell, even the challenge has trivia. So why are we forcing all of these physical comps on Big Brother, especially if you're trying to be more inclusive and you're having, older contestants, you're having contestants with disabilities, but you're making the game more physical with your challenges.
And let's be honest, man, this casting this season was pretty fire. Felicia is gold.
Yeah.
Felicia, disgusting, but hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Suri, fantastic to have two old people in the house. Fantastic. I don't know what world does this Riley Matt thing work, but he's been holding on. He's been holding a candle for this woman for 80 something days, 90 something days. And you have that relationship there. Blue, for all her faults, she was a character in and of herself.
But even like you go back, Heisem never would have been cast before. Jag never would have been cast before. And like, I'm complaining because he won all the time, but this is the first
person ever. Not
right.
Muslim. First Sikh person.
Or first Sikh ever.
Yeah.
25 seasons and he's the first.
Yeah. You have him. You have Matt, first deaf person in the house, hard of hearing person.
Yeah.
It was such a different kind of casting, such a breath of fresh air. But then to get the same stale kind of comps, and like these comps, I mean, Taryn has talked about it often. These comps have been this way, if you will, for the last few seasons, since at least like 20, where you're season 20, where you're getting these same type of physical comps at the end. That, and I think it even goes before that, but at least since 20 in my memory, where you get the same kind of physical comps for vetoes all the time.
And it's crazy because, like, if you want to point at the women, like specifically the women wins this season, you had Felicia win her HoH on basically a game of chance because it was Plinko. You have Bowie winning on memory comps, which are question comps. And then you had Blue win her veto on guessing how long Jag can hold on to a bar. Like, the ones where there wasn't a lot of physicality, the women had a chance. The ones where there was a lot of physicality, the women had no chance.
Well, that's one thing that Taryn mentioned, and that's what's such an important thing that you just said right there. There's comps that anyone can win. Then there's comps that only physical guys can win.
And like the pressure cooker is a perfect example of one that anyone can win while still being an endurance comp.
But this is what's important though, CJ. The comps that anyone can win, a guy can win those too.
Yes.
And the comps only guys can win. Only guys can win those comps. So guys had a chance to win 100% of the comps.
Yes.
But women only had a chance to win 40% of the comps or 50% of the comps. That doesn't make it equitable.
No, it doesn't.
It is still uneven. It is increasingly uneven. There's no competition that like are only like if they had a competition of make me some food, Felicia made all the food. So
right.
She's probably gonna win that thing. Suri knows how to make food too. I mean, that was one thing Suri said in one of her exit interviews. She's like, there's some things to fight with Felicia about, some things not worth it. And so I already know how Felicia is one of those people that's like a know-it-all. So if I know that I'm gonna season my rice this way for the last 40 years of my life, while I've had my children and everything, but Felicia tells me it's wrong, it's not worth fighting with her about it. I know she's gonna tell me it's wrong and just gonna do it her way. I thought that was funny. But back to the comps, like with the comps being the way they are and the way they were stacked that way, it just made like the game boring. It made it boring.
Well,
I mean, straight up.
so like the classic comps of answer this question and then pick two people to come up here. We didn't get that. I think we got that twice this season. And
Yeah,
that's a pretty common comp that we get.
but like I don't need knockout comps more than once.
I don't, but those are the kind of comps anyone can win.
Because even this one, like I liked the comp where they had to roll the ball and not you had to call the person you're trying to take out a shot on it with a shot and then roll the ball up there to get them.
And I felt like that comp was also equitable. The one thing I wish they would have changed specifically about that comp was if you hit your own, it still counted against you.
Mm. I liked that you had to call it and who you were going to hit. It looked like Felicia was struggling, but I thought that Sari should have just knocked out Jag all the way.
She should have.
Like
and then it would have been 1-on-1.
Yeah, would have been 1-on-1, and instead of going for Felicia's, she would have got Jags because she seemed to be pretty money with it, and then it would have been 2-on-1 for a little bit longer.
Right.
Because I would have also recognized if I was Sari that Felicia wasn't getting the hang of it, so I didn't have to worry about her coming for me yet. Yeah. And Matt still seemed to be on Felicia, so that way I could, after taking out Jag, I can go for Matt next.
And I don't understand, and this is more about the week in general. I don't understand when Matt took out Sari, how he thought Jag and Bowie would keep Sari for him. Makes no sense.
So, I mean, we can get into the week. Let's get into the week. Okay. So before we get into the week, let's talk about what did you think about America, the Blue America back-to-back eviction?
It was inevitable. That's what they were trying to do. And then Blue won a veto. So then they took out Corey.
I respect the hell out of America for fighting every single moment to the last breath. America is one of my favorite players from this season, and it's because I felt like she came to play. She tried to play the poverty game. She thought she would win some competitions. It didn't happen, so she was able to successfully pivot to a point. I've seen the seductress archetype several times in the last few years. Last season, we didn't really have one last season, I think that was Alyssa's role job. The season before, I think that was Alyssa and Oz's job, like role that they were supposed to fill. Season before that was All Stars, but before that was Annalise's job. It's just like the girl that's like young and cute and does nothing. But we got a more of a poverty spin with America, and I think she did her best to play it well.
And as I complain about how the season went, America and getting into showmance with Corey, both of them, students of the game, couldn't win shit because of the type of comps that they had. Both those two are the kind that win comps that usually do pretty well, but if you can't win a comp, you can't win the season if it's the same three people winning everything and they're working
It's the
together.
same comps. It's the same comps all the time, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like what America probably should have done, and I want to make sure I make this clear. I like AmeriCorey a lot. I think they can go far. I can see them dating for a while, if not going the distance. But if she had like paired with Jag, she would have been able to control him and control his confidence.
Yep. And that's the thing that sucks for America is from the get, nobody wanted to work with her.
Mm-hmm.
So she ended up getting in a showmance with Corey, which probably helped her stay a lot longer than she would have otherwise. But at the end of the day, she didn't win anything. And Corey won, what, one HoH?
One HoH.
So it's kind of hard to be a power couple when you don't win.
Which is weird, right? Because you don't need to be a power couple. You don't need to win to normally be a power couple if you're able to control the way people do things.
but you can't control it if it's the same 3 people winning everything.
Correct. And especially when they start realizing that comps is all that they care about.
Yeah, because and the worst part is those 3 people who are winning everything also had Cameron on their side, who was winning everything before they cut him. So like, I don't know if this is just going to be a thing moving forward, but basically they were just like, hey, look, the 3 of us can win everything. Oh, let's cut Cameron and replace him with Bowie, who is the only other person who has
And
won
that's the
something.
thing. It wasn't even Bowie wasn't even in because she could win stuff. They had Bowie in because she couldn't win the final vote. She
Yeah,
was never gonna. They didn't respect her. Not those 2,
yeah,
but the rest of the house didn't respect her. So it's like we're gonna have. Oh and shit, Bowie got a couple wins. Hey, that works.
yep.
That works. Makes it easier for us. And so we come into this final week with Suri really gunning for that HOH. She ends up getting teamed up on by Matt and Jag. Matt wins HOH, and you're like, Suri's gonna be safe.
And with that HOH, we talked about like Felicia wasn't getting the hang of it, but I don't know why Felicia and Sri didn't have a pact that we know they're coming after us. We have to go after them.
Well, Felicia was good after Jag, and she never went after Suri.
Right, but like y'all need to work together. And obviously, since Felicia couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, it didn't matter. But
Well, it was that she couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and on top of that, Felicia had been throwing Suri's name in the mud for a whole week.
she had been throwing Suri's name in the mud for like 6 weeks.
Right, but like this last week was bad,
Yeah.
because she was convinced that she was going to make sure she made her way to a higher finish than Suri, and so she decided to like just dime Suri out at every step of the way, and Suri was able to definitely avoid it, including swearing all over a Bible that she didn't say something to Matt that she did, that Matt told her.
Yeah.
But it worked. It worked because Suri had that social capital. But Felicia was doing that all week long. And it then just made it hard to like trust her and want to work with her.
Yeah, it's like Felicia's loose lips she just kept going and going and going. And like it's really hard for Suri. And I talked about wanting Suri to have adversity. And Suri had adversity of every turn once she lost Izzy because Jared couldn't keep his mouth shut. Felicia couldn't keep her mouth shut.
Mimi wouldn't open her mouth.
Yeah.
Mimi wouldn't open her mouth.
Mimi wouldn't open her mouth. Blue wouldn't commit fully to Suri. Like she was still in Jag's pocket. And it's just like I'm looking at the final 3 now. And because all they've done is win, and I think 2 of them have played piss poor social games. And the 2 that have played piss poor social games, I think would take each other to the end.
Hold on. Let's get to that because I want to go through Felicia's on the so Suri gets evicted. The way it switched from Felicia to Suri was that Jag was starting to talk about it and was like, Matt might take Suri. Jag and Bowie made a final 2 agreement between them without Matt. So they were going to vote out Suri regardless. And then once Matt got a letter from Riley and the pictures with Riley, he recommitted to Jag and them.
Which makes no sense to me. Don't you want to have that money so you can take Riley on a date?
Well, he thought he was in good enough position that they would both take him to the end.
I don't know. I haven't watched feeds as much this season as I have in previous seasons because I've just been kind of disgusted with the level of gameplay this season. But in what world does he think Bowie would take him to the end?
Well, earlier in the season, he was closer to Bowie than Jag was.
Yeah, but you've seen it at the end. Bowie
like
and
2
Jag.
weeks ago.
But like Bowie and Jag are spending all their time together now.
Now
that's the odd man out.
But it didn't happen until he won HoH.
Yeah.
And so during that HoH week is when things really shifted for him in a negative way.
But if I win so let's say I win HOH, and obviously Jag winning the veto would have ruined it. But if I'm seeing you two buddy up, I'm gonna put you both on the block.
Not if you're working with them.
At 5, what's best for your game?
They made a Final 3 group called the Mafia, and he thought at the time that they would both take him to the end.
And that's the thing. No one has taken any chances this season.
No one took any chances this season. This season was
Corey with Izzy was the biggest chance someone took this season.
The biggest swing anyone took.
Which in most seasons, that's nothing.
It was the two biggest chances people took was voting out Izzy and voting out Heisel.
Uh-huh.
And all the rest of that, it was paid by numbers.
Yeah, and if Felicia had somehow won, it would have reminded me of Gabler winning Survivor with, well, what did you do that influenced the game? I took out Heisem. That was literally 3 months ago.
If Felicia wins the season, right, it's because she's not one of the three of them, and I'm cool with it. That's more of a Sandra win to me.
Yeah.
When Sandra won Heroes versus Villains, they were not voting for Russell. They were not voting for Parvati. So Sandra gets the win.
Yeah.
And Sandra did a couple things. So the same thing would have been here, because in order for her to get there, she would have taken out Matt or Jag.
Yeah.
And I can give you credit for that. So that's how Felicia would have to get to the end. Hell, if she sit next to Bowie Jane, she probably took out Matt and Jag.
Yeah.
And so, that equity moves to you. So that's cool. But alas, Felicia ends up going out fourth. And I even now, so we're sitting here this past week. Bowie Jane wins the Final Four HOH. Jag wins the Final Four veto. And when Bowie won the Final Four HOH, both when she won the Final Four HOH and the HOH at the double eviction, you're like begging Bowie to make a move.
Right.
And
do something interesting, because not only would it make the game interesting, but it would legitimately give you a chance at winning, because the narrative is you're just doing someone else's bidding. Right.
That's been the narrative, right? And that's all you've been doing. So if you make a move on Jag at Final 5 or whatever, at Final 6, that would have been interesting. You could probably still beat America. You could probably still beat Suri. But at that move, you have now added a move to your resume. But she's been spending the whole time playing for others, which has been boring. But alas, she wins the Final Four HOH. She decides to put up Matt and Felicia. She does this whole number guessing thing, but she told Jag what the number was going to be, because she wanted to set it up so it was random, but it wasn't, because Matt is better for Jag's game than he is for Bowie's game. Right. In all honesty. So with that being the case, we get a Final Four with Felicia, Matt, Bowie, and Jag, with Matt and Felicia being on the block. As we know, the only thing that matters is the veto here, and lo and behold, once again, Jag wins the veto. This time the veto is a little bit different. It's remembering days of things happening in the house.
And this is probably the closest we've gotten to a fair comp in a while.
And so we get this competition. Jag does win it. Congrats to him. But here is when you think that we're going to get the move, right? He's going to take out Matt here.
Right.
And for days it was talked about. For hours it was talked about, because the veto, the HOH, the eviction was a live-ish eviction. Might have been filmed earlier in the day yesterday, but it was filmed yesterday.
Yeah.
And up until Saturday night, he was talking Bowie into being cool with him evicting Matt. Then something changed, and he decides to not evict Matt. And we see Felicia finishing out in fourth. What a great run by Felicia.
Went way further than anybody thought she would.
Correct. I I don't know if turning on Sari was necessary, but it's something she felt like she had to do.
She was trying to turn on Sari back when Jared was still in the house, though. And I don't
Correct.
know why.
I don't get it either, but it's what she felt like she had to do, which was weird. But with both those things happening, we get a final three of Jag, Matt, and Bowie, the Mafia. Final three. One of the least inspiring final threes, in my opinion, in the last since 19.
Yeah.
Since 19, because 19 is where you have Paul, Josh, and Christmas as the final three. And this final three is kind of make me feel the same way. I'm like, meh. Because with JC, Tyler, and Casey, you're like, okay, Tyler or Casey, we'll see what happens here. With Jackson, Holly, and I think Cliff, I forgot who came in third. You're like, okay, Jackson Mickey's winning all these comps, but Holly has won a couple comps herself. When you had Franzel, Cody, and Enzo, you're like, okay, this is Cody's game to lose.
Yeah. But they at least had an interesting season leading to that point.
Right. You get 20 to 24, you get Xavier, you get X, you get Derek F, and you get Azza. Obviously, X was going to win the whole thing, but the journey was well worth it, even to the 6 and through the 6.
Yeah, up until, there was no doubt X was going to win at Final 3, but his fight with Kylan when he sent him home.
At 4?
Yeah. I was entertained until the end of each of those seasons. Mm-hmm. I have not been entertained to the end of this season. I've been watching to see it through.
Yeah. Gotta see it through, my boy. You know what I'm saying?
And I think I was done. When they were trying to send Blue home and she won the veto and then they sent Corey.
I was done when Jag got to win HoH again.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, so he does get to win it again. Huh.
Not only because he got to win it again, but also because he just he won everything.
Yeah. So with that being the case, let's go ahead.
I'll say, and the worst part is he won everything, but it wasn't his back was against the wall and people were targeting him because his friends were winning when he wasn't.
Yeah. And the people that you want a power shift.
Yeah.
And that's what people wanted earlier in the season. They wanted Izzy and them to stop running the game. Well, you got your wish. Is this better?
I don't know. I was bored then, but like you said, we had Waffle Wednesdays. We didn't have that anymore.
So we get to a final three of Jag, Bowie, and Matt. I want us to go through each of their games and see if we could figure out who we would be happy with winning. I want us to start with Bowie.
She was there.
So early in the season, Bowie was just kind of there. She was intentionally, she was afraid to never be on the block. She never wanted to be on the block. She never wanted to touch the block. She told Red that we want to blend into the background and not come on till late. And then she wins a HoH on accident against Felicia and then goes on to win 2 more HoHs. So she has 3 HoH wins. She's never on the block. She's in the Alliance, the Mafia that was created when there was 5 people left. The majority alliance created with 5 people left.
Yep.
She was in the Bye Bye Bitches. Tell me about Bowie's game.
She was a floater until she found some people to latch onto. And
was she a floater or was she a coaster?
Probably coaster more so than floater. Because the thing is you saw it with Red's Eviction, how emotional she was. I think she really thought she was rocking with the Bye Bye Bitches.
The Bye Bye Bitches and the Professors.
Yeah, and then when they
Slash Legend 25.
cut Heisem, she was cool with it because she knew. When they cut Red, she didn't know, and she was like, "Well, these were supposed to be my people, and my people just left me out, so now I have no people." So then she's looking for anyone to latch onto, and she doesn't get that until she wins HOH, where Matt and Jag, who are already moving into a position of power, get in her ear and get her to convince her to get rid of Cameron, who Cameron screwed up by saying, "I've been protecting you this whole time," which he hadn't been. Nobody, like Bowie wasn't on anyone's radar. But Cameron would have 100% worked with Bowie to the end. And Cameron and Bowie, like, again, I don't think Bowie beats Cameron if they had made it to the final two. But at least she has a narrative. Her narrative right now is that she's been Matt and Jag's puppet because her 3 HOH wins, she did what they wanted. And really, HOH at 4 doesn't mean anything other than you're safe. You're going to finale night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Vito was the one that has all the power.
Mm-hmm.
So she won that HOH. The HOH she won during the double, Matt and Jag's way. She got rid of Cameron for Matt and Jag. So, like, what has she actually done besides be a puppet?
Right. It's a good point. I mean, she's won 3 HOHs. And I said she was never put up. She was in on most of the votes.
But everyone has been in on most of the votes this season, so does that really mean anything?
That's true. That's a good point. If she's sitting next to Jag, what's the vote count? 7-person jury, right? 7-person jury?
6-1, maybe. Probably
is it 7-person jury?
7-person jury. Yeah.
Is it 7? We have Cameron, Corey, America, Blue, Sari, Felicia,
and whoever goes home at 3.
Yeah. 7-person jury. So, what's the vote count? 6-1, you think?
Maybe 6-1, probably 7-0 for Jag or Matt if they're sitting next to her.
Okay. I think the same. I think Matt's a 7-0, easy. I think Jag's a 7-0. Maybe. Jag, we're going to talk about Jag in a minute. What were your thoughts on Bowie throughout the whole game? What did you think of her when she first came in? Did you think she was going to play differently?
Half the time I forgot she was in the house. Her and Mimi got very little camera time. And hell, even Bowie's first HOH, she didn't get any camera time, which is crazy. When you're the HOH, you set the narrative for the week, and they were still talking to everyone else.
Yeah.
So, like, until we got to probably 6 or 7, she was just floating in the background, and then it was like, oh, she's actually a player because there's not a lot of people left. And if production isn't, giving you a narrative, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So she's there. She is happy to make it this far. If somehow she makes it to the final 2, she's drawing dead.
So if she's drawing dead, after seeing 95%, what day is this? 92% of the season. It's 100 days on Thursday. So actually, I think today is
97.
Day 97. So you've seen 97% of the season. What moves after seeing the season should Bowie have made to win? Knowing what you know from how the season plays out.
During the double, she should have put up Matt and Jag.
Okay. During the first double or the second one? First one or second one?
The double that she won HOH.
She won HOH on both of them, didn't she?
No, she had the HOH room on Cameron's season.
Oh, yeah.
Cameron came back, or Cameron's
Yeah.
After
Corey
the zombie week.
Corey won the HOH on that one. Yeah.
Yes.
So in the double that she wins.
Okay. She needs to put up Matt and Jag because they can't use the veto on each other. And I get it. You're afraid because you don't want them coming after you, blah, blah, blah. But you want to take out the person that has been in charge, because this late in the game, it's a huge resume builder when nobody has really done anything that's left in the house.
Okay. But coming out the veto, we have the rolling thing comp,
Yeah.
the skee ball comp.
Yeah.
So at that point, when we now have, let's say, let's say Jack goes out, right? So we're in a skee ball comp with Matt, Suri, America, and Felicia. Who isn't coming after Bowie Jade in that group?
Who isn't?
Yeah.
Maybe America. She's probably going after Matt and Felicia. Who knows? America wasn't mad at Bowie. She was mad at Matt and Jag.
Correct. I'm just trying to, I like I said, knowing what we know now, we knew that comp was going to be next, right? So I'm just trying to play it out. I'm trying to get an idea of like how Bowie could have won the game. Because I don't think Bowie's winning the game either.
So here's the thing is like, if I'm in the house and I'm sitting at 6 and I think I'm drawing dead, who do I think is beating me? Who do I think is who do I think is hands down winning against everyone? That's who I have to take out, even if it's my number one ally.
Mm-hmm.
Because the bigger problem for Bowie is even if she did have a semblance of a shot at winning, you can't differentiate her moves from the people she's been working with, which means you have to take out the people she's working with so that she can own those moves at the end.
Right.
And she can't point at anything she did that someone else couldn't say, well, that was my idea. I just convinced you to do it.
There was nothing that she did on her own, nothing that she drove, nothing she was the leader of. She has no real agency. And so by not having agency, it makes it difficult to assign her any victory points, if you will.
Yeah, I know we've talked about it in the past, so I thought Jag was drawing dead, and then Jag went on this incredible run of wins. I've always thought Matt was in a really strong position to win because of his social game. I'm surprised Bowie made it this far.
Speaking of Jag drawing dead, though, let's lay out Jag's resume, right? Multiple HoHs, 7 vetoes. He was evicted 10-0, came back and was saved by a power by his best bud, has basically controlled the end game from a competition standpoint.
Yep.
But he has not been very kind with the people going home. He blindsides Blue, he blindsides America, sort of, blindsides Suri, sort of. Social game not there, not on point, not on fleek.
And his jury management has been poor. So, like, you think Blue, like, if you're really working with Blue, you shouldn't be taking her out.
Right.
Because you're sending her to jury where she's probably not going to vote with you because you betrayed her. America,
Corey.
Well, you took out Corey, so America's never going to vote for you. And then you have, if he's sitting next to Matt, all Matt has to say is he was voted out 10-0 and I saved him.
Yeah. That would be that. I don't think that's all he has to say. That's not compelling enough for me to say, well, he's right. I'm going to give him the vote. But if he mentions Jag's social game, because Matt takes out Cameron, he works with Bowie to take out Cameron. Cameron didn't see it coming initially.
Nope.
Then they blindside Corey in America after he told them he's a secret HoH. He then blindsides them by putting them up. Lies to Blue again, takes out Blue. Takes America out next. It's a unilateral decision to take out Suri. And then while Suri was on the block, he told her that she had his vote, and then she didn't. And then takes out Felicia. So all of the way he went about all these things, not very good jury management, like you said.
So and this is really where it's going to come down to how the jury decides who's worthy, because almost every single person in the jury is there because of Jag.
Mm-hmm.
So are they going to reward him
You're going to
for
get blame or
taking him
credit.
out?
He's going to get blame or credit.
Yes. If he gets blame, he doesn't win. If he gets credit, he wins. I don't know, but I still don't know if he beats Matt, because Matt's jury management has been stellar.
Let's talk on it.
So Matt has won what? 1 HoH and 2 vetoes?
Mm-hmm.
But he's played a great game of constantly, sharing information, staying on people's good side, not getting any blood on his hands, avoiding the block until 4, and just being with the right people every time. And like, we talk about being on the right side of the vote every time. I don't think that really means anything this season, because everyone was playing a scared game where everyone was always on the right side of the vote. Like, the only instances where I can even think of are the red vote, where Bowie and Cameron were not on the right side of the vote and they were shook. And then Sari giving a pity vote to Izzy and a pity vote to Jared. And other than that, like, almost every vote has been unanimous.
Right.
So Matt floating through, sharing information, being a rat floater essentially, because he didn't have to get any blood on his hands, I think people are going to respect that, because I think normally Jag would get credit if he was taking people out, had he not lied to them about it. Because everyone thought they were working with Jag, and then he cut them.
Right.
Matt, they also thought they were working with Matt, but Matt didn't cut them.
Right. It was all Jag, because Jag had the power.
Yeah.
And so I think Matt's game, by him sharing information and cultivating relationships with these people, such as Sari, such as Felicia, it kept him in a good space where they didn't want to vote him out. But because you have that good space, it means that they want to vote you in the end to win.
Yes.
And
Matt just has more friends in the jury house at this point.
Now, if Matt were to not win, I guess I don't guess one of the moves he should have made was he should have used his veto at the double eviction. I don't know that Bowie puts up Jag, but you got to try.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, I think that when Matt was HoH, I think that was the time he should have took a shot at Jag and Bowie, put him on the block.
Well, that's the thing. At 5, if Matt, or what was it, at 6, you would have just had to work on getting her to put up Jag, which it's hard during a double.
Right.
But that was legitimately the last chance you had at taking out Jag.
No, because at 5. Oh yeah, because Jag wins the veto.
He won the veto at 5, and he won the veto at 4, and then it's a 3-part HoH now.
Yeah. You're right about that.
You have to beat him now if you don't want to sit next to him.
So that was the time to do it. That was the only time you could have done it, and that's when Michael Brunner went out. Like, that's when these comp threats are there, and in the double's the time you got to take the shot, whether you like them or not. That's when you have to take the shot. You don't have a choice.
And realistically, Matt didn't have to say anything. He could have just went to Bowie and been like, "This is what's best for our game." And because just say, Bowie and Matt have different narratives for how they got there. But both of their narratives are intertwined with Jag's. So you take out Jag and you have your own story.
Right. I mean, that's true. That's true. So at 6 is the only time he would have been able to do it. He said he was going to wait till 4. That's what he told Sari originally, but 4 was too late, especially with the way that Jag wins the vetoes. It would have been a dangerous plot to try to hatch.
Right. Yeah, you can't, like, as much as it's good to be patient, with someone like Jag, you can't be patient. You got to take the shot the first chance you get, because you may not get another one.
Correct. I wish you didn't.
Yeah.
So, right now, who do you think is going to win the game?
I think Jag's going to win, and the only reason I think Jag is going to win is because I think Jag picks Bowie and Bowie picks Jag. I don't think Matt's going to win the 3-part HOH. Especially because the third part is always a question comp.
Yeah.
And Matt hasn't been good at those. So even if he wins one of the first 2 parts, I don't see him winning the third part.
That's fair.
And I think Jag is smart enough to know that if he sits next to Matt, he's probably like their games are intertwined and people like Matt more.
Right. So then, question for you: if he takes out Matt, does he get credit for finally doing a move?
I don't know. I don't know if he needs the credit for quote unquote.
Yeah. He's beating Bowie J no matter what.
Yeah. And conversely, I don't think Matt, I think it's crazy because I think if Matt were to take out Jag, people would respect it. But if Jag were to take out Matt, I think you might see the jury be like, well, this dude just cut everyone that he was working with. So why should we reward that?
Correct.
And that's the only way I could see Bowie win.
And that's the wild thing is that Jag gets no credit, but he will get all the blame.
Yeah.
I think if Jag is dumb enough to let Matt to sit next to Matt, he'll lose.
I think so too.
I think Matt still wins this game hands down. I think Bowie's drawing dead.
The only way I could see Bowie winning is if Jag cuts Matt. Because I think that would be eye-opening to the people of the jury. The only problem with that is they don't get any time to deliberate because they're finding out that Matt got cut right before they ask their final questions.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they talk about it in the jury house before that, if Matt is the one that gets cut, we're not voting for Jag. But then do they follow through with that? Because everything that they've shown from the clips at the jury house, Cameron is the only one that seems to be fawning over Jag.
Right.
Everyone else seems to be ambivalent at best.
Yeah. Agreed. I think Matt has the best chance to win than Jag, than Bowie. Jag has really risen there, though. He rose up to the ranks by taking out everyone around him that was better than him in these competitions.
Yep.
He would be number one if he kept Felicia there. Now, I think he would have mistakenly lost to Felicia for sure. I think that would have been a bad move by him, but it's one that he would have made. But I think that Matt wins this game in the end if he makes it to the end.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I just don't know if Matt makes it to the end.
And that's what's going to be an interesting thing to try to find out if he does make it to the end.
If Matt makes it to the end, he wins. And I'm not nearly as salty about this season. It was fine, but whatever. If Jag or Bowie wins, this is going to go down as one of those seasons where, somebody had to win. 25
seasons, CJ. Is it in the top 5? Is it in the middle 5? The middle 5? The lower 5?
I think it's bottom 5 because of how unfortunately, I think it's bottom 5 because there was very little social game played. It was all about comps this season.
I think I would put the season in the lower 5 to the middle 5 is number 15, 16 for me. Because the gameplay early in the season was electric. Watching the feeds, it was early and it was electric. But the late game, once Izzy goes, everything kind of comes to a standstill.
Yeah,
because
who knew Izzy had that kind of power?
Right, and then you get to the part where we get the zombies, and that was boring, a waste of a week. And then we get after that, we get that waste of a week. We get just the Jag in-game run, and just someone winning all the comps at the end is just not entertaining. It's just not fun. There's nothing I can say about it that's gonna make it better.
Well, it's like BB said, will an evicted winner be respected by you two, by past winners who were all never evicted? No, he's kind of like Chris from Edge of Extinction. Like, you were voted out, you somehow got back in, and then you won. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, if Jag wins, he won. But at the same time, you went home, my guy. And the thing is that we like if you don't evict Kristen after Luke says the N word, maybe we don't even have that power.
Yeah. Maybe we don't have a zombie week.
It's one or the other. we don't have one or the other. So it's like you got saved by the production being screwy. That's weird. It's weird.
Yeah,
I don't think he would go higher. He would be higher than some of the bottom winners, but like he's higher than a lover, but higher than Jordan for me as a winner.
Yes. I love Jordan too, but yes.
Higher than Josh as a winner.
Yes.
They're higher than like I'm not a big fan of Jackson Mickey because he didn't have any social game really. He just won all the comps. So like,
but that's where Jag is.
Right, he's in that same zone. Jackson's probably a little bit lower because of the racism part. Yeah. So that part's important.
But if we're solely talking about gameplay and not about Jackson being a shitty person, Jag and Jackson live in the same area.
CJ, we cannot strip away the racism.
But what I'm talking about is how they played the game.
He played the game with racism, CJ. He played the game with racism.
Anyway.
He did. He did from the beginning. That's how we knew. That's how we knew.
But Jag had one of the worst social games I've seen by a potential winner.
Yeah, just mistake after mistake, decision after decision, actually.
And like he didn't. Once he stopped trying to figure out where those 10 votes came from, he started winning comps. His social game was, where did those 10 votes come from? All right, well, I'm not going to worry about that anymore. I'm just going to win comps.
Yeah.
And now I'm at final 3.
You want to hear the one spoiler I got?
Go for it.
I don't even think we need a spoiler warning.
Nah, man, we're too deep in the game at this point, and
yeah,
whoever goes home at 3 goes home at 3 on day 100. So who cares?
Matt won the first part of the HoH.
Nice. I still don't think he wins part 3.
It was some kind of endurance thing. And Jag says to Bowie, "Did we make a mistake? Should we have sent Matt home?"
Well, that's the thing is, if you've watched the show enough times, you know that part 1 of the 3-part is always endurance.
Mm-hmm.
Part 2 is usually a puzzle. The last couple of seasons, it's been a puzzle with endurance.
Uh-huh.
But usually part 2 is a puzzle and part 3 is always questions.
Right.
I don't think Matt wins questions. And I stand by that, and I will be shocked if Matt wins part 3.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too. It's an interesting thing, and I think no matter how it shakes, I think Bowie takes Jag regardless.
Yes.
I don't know what Jag does. I think he takes Bowie, but I also thought he would have cut Matt right there at 4 when he had the chance, and he didn't do it. So I'm not positive.
So that's the thing is like when I talk about you got to play to win. If I'm Jag, I'm sending Matt home at 4 because I don't know if I'm going to get another chance to do it.
Right.
However, if I'm Jag, knowing full well that everyone at jury is sitting there because of me and I didn't do a great job of managing their exits, I probably can't send Matt there too because then they're going to be like, well, this guy would cut his own mother if she was in the house. So
is that a good thing or a bad thing, though?
It depends on the jury and the people in the jury. So that's
I think they're an anti-Bowie crowd, regardless.
It's an anti-Bowie crowd, but here's the thing: is like, as I said earlier, Cameron's the only one fawning over what Jag has done.
True.
So like, I don't like. I don't know. I think America is anyone but Jag, so that's one vote. I think Corey doesn't
No,
necessarily
no, no, no,
respect
no,
what
no, no,
Jag
no,
has
no, no,
done.
no. I think America hates the idea of voting for Jag, but she refuses to vote for Bowie. She called Bowie a floater. What does she call Bowie in her interview? I'm gonna pull it up.
So if she, I know, like that's the thing is we're talking about Bowie not doing anything, but is not doing anything better or worse than alienating everyone.
I think it's worse.
Really,
I
because I
think it's
think it's
worse
actually, and it all comes down to the composition of the jury.
because
Because
like
we've seen bitter juries, we've seen
so
juries
like
reward that kind of gameplay.
on her way out the door, um, in her interview with Parade Magazine, America said rapid fire thoughts on each house guest that was remaining. Bowie Jane, she said, floater, ditzy, dumbass, fangirl, puppy dog.
Fair.
For Jag, she said, superhuman athlete, cockadoodle zoom, the Jag man, he's sneaky, he's a liar, he's a manipulator, he's a comp beast.
Okay.
Um,
What'd you say about Matt?
for Matt, she said, sneaky Matt, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. He's also a liar. He's also a manipulator, but he's great. He's Sleepy Boy, Matty Ice, Matty Nice, Matty Smokes, Matty the Ice Pick.
So from those comments, it sounds like she would vote Matt before Jag.
Mm-hmm. 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 And I think that tracks. Right? Because
So you've gotten a clip of Corey saying that Jag hasn't really played a social game.
mm-hmm.
I think Corey might be one of the most influential voices in the jury house when it comes time to deliberate. And then you just sent Sari there, who is also an excellent talker.
So Cerise said, Bowie Jane, a breeze in the wind, because Bowie Jane is going to go wherever power goes, and she's going to fly wherever the wind takes her. Bowie Jane has really made no real decisions on her own, like she says in her own way, whatever the house wants. I would just confer with the house before I even spoke to Bowie Jane to know what she was going to do. She said about Jag, snake, slithering, slimy, genius, but a snake. And for Matt, she said strong and soft at the same time. Matt is an Olympian, but Matt crumbles under pressure. And I know that and knew that, but I still love Matt.
So it sounds like that's 2 votes for Matt.
Mm-hmm. She
I
votes for Matt.
I think
Sounds
Corey
like
votes for Matt.
Sounds like Jag over Bowie.
Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even questioning if Matt loses to Bowie, which just shows how low Bowie is.
Right. Let me see if I can find Felicia.
I just feel like I don't know how much Big Brother Jag watches, but Jag has to know
big
that
fan. He said he's a big fan.
he says he's a big fan, but like there's a lot of people that have come in recently that are big fans that started watching with the Cookout. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious, is Jag aware that him and Matt's game are intertwined in a way that you can't differentiate the two? And if so, who do I like better of the pair? It seems to be Matt for most of the people in the jury. So you have to cut Matt.
Yeah. What Felicia said for Bowie Jane, Bowie. Bowie Jane was sneaky. She chased the power.
Yes.
Jag had charisma, and Jag was very strategic. Matty Matt was just Matty Ice. He was an All-American guy that everybody loved.
I don't know where she goes. Well, it sounds anti-Bowie, but I don't know where she goes with her vote.
I think that's another Matt vote, especially if everyone else is doing Matt.
Yeah, well, because everyone wants to be on the right side of the vote.
Yeah, and like I mean, I would also want to feel like I voted for the winner.
I would vote for who I think is the winner. If I'm sitting in jury right now, I'm voting for Matt.
When Blue did hers, Blue was the Blue character, but the Blue character said for Bowie Jane, who?
Yeah.
For Jag, Aston Boring. And for Matt, she said a simp. Matt is a full down, is a full down bad simp.
Also, based on how the season goes, do you think any of them get invited back for a future season?
America.
Of the jury members, you think America would get invited back?
America, Corey, Cameron, probably. That's it.
Because I would say Corey, but not America. I would say Cameron, and I would say Jag and Matt.
Well, America's crying. Like, I feel like America was. I feel like America. I'm so high on America because I felt like her game was one that it was unfortunate, but she was there to play.
Yes.
And so, what does it look like if they change the comps a little bit? What does it look like if Corey's not there? Bean says Sari, but she would not accept. No, Sari ain't ever doing this shit again.
You know what I really want to see? What I really want to see is Sari to do one season of the challenge, because they're always in there going, this isn't Big Brother, you got to play different. This isn't Survivor, you got to play different. Well, Sari has played both. I want her to tell them how these two games are different, because she is the only one that has played both.
She already said in her exit interview that Big Brother is so much harder than Survivor.
No, I know, but I want when those two sides are bickering in Challenge USA House, I want Sari there to be in the middle, telling them how they're both stupid. And then I want to see Sari and Felicia in a hall brawl.
Why? Why would you want to see them in a hall brawl, CJ?
Because someone's breaking a hip.
Yeah, why do you want that?
Who do you think wins in a hall brawl between Sari and Felicia?
Probably Felicia.
I'd pick Felicia too.
Yeah, probably Felicia. I mean, with Felicia, there at the having been a former military person, Sari's just a nurse, man.
Yeah, she's a lover, not a fighter.
Correct. Rounding him out, by the way, Corey said for Bowie Jane, Australia. For Jag, Cockadoodle Zoom. And then for Matt, really impressive.
So that's a Matt vote.
Uh-huh. But that was then. That was when he went out then. I don't know how he would feel now, because Jag has now won even more comps to get to the end. So I don't know where he's at now. And then for Cameron, he said for Bowie Jane, proud. For Jag, homie. And for Matt, lovable.
Is Cameron aware that Jag orchestrated his exit?
I don't know.
And
I don't know what he knows.
That would influence Cameron either way.
No, I don't think so.
I think Cameron is the one person in the house that was really able to differentiate game from personal. Mm-hmm. Which I didn't really like Cameron, but I did like that about Cameron, is he's like, we're here to play a game. I care about you as a person. I like you as a person, but on a game level, you got to go.
Yeah.
And I think Cameron will probably be fighting for Jag in the jury house. Mm-hmm. I think everyone else will be fighting for Matt in the jury house. So if you get Matt sitting there with the jury at the end, Jag wins. If Matt is there, I think Matt wins, whether it's against Bowie or Jag.
Jag. I think so too, especially as we just parsed it out. So if Matt wins, I feel like the season at least had a guy that played some social strategy.
Yes.
So that's fine. If Matt's not there, throw the whole season away. So
if Matt goes out at 3, I might just turn off the last 45 minutes of the episode. It's over.
Throw the whole thing away. It's over. Um, CJ, it's been a pleasure covering the season with you once again. Rumors of a winter season are in the works. Some kind
I
of
would
legend season.
I would enjoy a winners or legend season, but we just had All Stars at 21.
And we still have an actor strike, though.
We do still have an actor strike, which means we might be getting 2 seasons of Big Brother next year.
Yeah, I mean, I received, where's this? Let me see if I can pull it up. A friend of mine who's an actor uh got a message from SAG after today that said we've responded to the producer's last best and final offer. Um Please know that every member is trying to get this across the table for you. There's several essential items that were not in the agreement, and we'll keep you informed as events unfold. So it sounds like they're going to continue to strike. I heard they were going to end anything and need to be done by the end of last month.
Yep.
To try to salvage anything. So if we do get a winter season, I mean, CBS basically said that Survivor, Amazing Race have really carried them through this tough time. And there was no mention of Big Brother, but Big Brother, the house, the lots are there.
Yeah.
So you just put people in the house.
Well, that's the thing is like, I wouldn't be surprised if Survivor and Amazing Race become just 90-minute shows.
Yeah.
In perpetuity now. I wouldn't be surprised since they only run one Amazing Race season a year if Tough as Nails becomes a 90-minute show, because Tough as Nails has taken that second Amazing Race slot when they went to one Amazing Race a year.
Yeah, they said, Phil, we're still gonna pay you.
Yeah.
But
so I wouldn't be surprised if, when Survivor comes back in March is when it's been coming back recently.
Yeah.
If Tough as Nails is a 90-minute show that runs with
well,
it.
that's why I wouldn't be surprised by a Big Brother celebrity season or a legend season. If we get a celebrity season, we might get some like better celebrities too, because there's less people doing stuff.
Not only would you get better, well, the thing is even if you got better celebrities, they would still have to keep it short in the event that the strike ended.
It'd be like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Like the against the Olympic season, the
Bro,
Winter Olympic season.
What if we got like a legends versus celebrities?
I don't know, because I think the legends would mop the floor with the celebrities because they know how to play.
I know, but I would like to have them. Give me Dan Giesling back. That's my guy, man.
I would actually love to see legends versus newbies.
Would you you gonna podcast with me?
Always.
Awesome. All right. That's a wrap for me and CJ on the season. CJ may join Kiley and Sheldon. He may not. I won't be here to wrap the season, but it's been a pleasure being here with you guys as always to take you through this Big Brother journey. Man, what a journey. It's been 100 days, CJ. We've been here for like 97 of them. This is insane.
Been a very long season.
Yeah, man. Let's not get this anymore. Oh, last thing I want to talk about. I almost hour in totally forgot. How good was Taylor's interview yesterday?
I love that she dragged the people the same way that we've been dragging them. She's great.
It was fantastic, and watching Taylor just talk it through and just be like, look, man, when you get to this many seasons, you get people just when it comes.
Yeah.
And remember that whole thing I talked about? Yeah, y'all didn't care. So
Yeah.
I guess y'all didn't hear any of my words in that speech.
You didn't hear any of my words in that speech. And now look at you. Your ratings are probably lower, and you got people complaining about the style of comps.
Yeah. It was so funny. But, man, Taylor was so good. The internet's calling for Taylor to replace Julie when Julie retires.
As long as Taylor doesn't go Julie Chen Moonves. I need old Julie. And I think Taylor has that energy.
Moonves. She does. She's young. She's ready to do it. I love it. CJ, pleasure. Thank you for joining me. coming to you from outside of the Big Brother house. Good night.